आधाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा शिवासधि गौरभक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री राधा गोविंद की निताय गौरंग की लक्ष्मी नरसिंह भगवान की भक्त हनुमान की हनुमान जयंती महामहोत्सव की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। So welcome all the devotees. Tomorrow is going to be one of the very auspicious days, that is appearance day of Lord Hanuman. So this is a very special day for all of us. For many people in across the world, the most famous deities of Sanatana Dharma. We have many deities. We have Rama and we have Shiva and many other goddesses are there. But the most famous deity is Hanuman. So that is the special blessing of the Supreme Lord. Okay. Lord wanted his devotees to be more famous than himself. That we can understand, by the Hanuman. From childhood, we have seen and we were astonished by the activities of Lord Hanuman, his pastimes. Even across the world, people would like to hear his pastimes. They're very enthusiastic and very special, pastimes. So now we'll understand, the glories of Lord Hanuman and what we have to implement in our lives from the life of Lord Hanuman. Okay. In South India, Vyasatirtha, he is the Acharya in the Madhva Sampradaya. So he established hundreds of Hanuman temples. And if you see North India also, people are ardent devotees of Lord Hanuman. They established, many acharyas established many temples. And people, worship very dutifully. Even in our temple, many people do pradakshanas to our Japa Anjaneya Swami. Sometimes they'll come directly. There is Lakshmi Narasimha is there, Radha Krishna is there, and then Shiva is there, Garuda is there. But they come directly to Hanuman. They do pradakshanas and they will offer prayers and they will go to the deities. So this is all their loving devotion to Hanuman. So special features, many special people like him very specially. Okay. So Hanuman, Lord Hanuman, he is the son of Anjana Devi. Anjana Devi is actually Apsarasa by name Punjakasthala. So due to the curse of one sage, she takes birth as Anjana and she get married to Kesari. He is the chief of some group of Vanaras. These Vanaras, many people tell, even Darwin's theory tells that human beings are descendants of monkeys, apes. this is a very famous ideology, across the world. And they quote Ramayana also. See, Vanaras are there and we came from Vanaras. So, but you have to understand, this is not correct. So, when Vanaras are there, human beings are also there. If human beings come from Vanaras, from the monkeys, then first monkeys only should exist, then human beings should exist. They should appear after the monkeys. But both are existing simultaneously. Okay. So, Shastras never tell human beings came from monkeys. From starting of creation, human beings existing and monkeys are existing. Okay. So, don't get confused, by these things. People, they want to propagate their philosophy and they use, sometimes Shastras also like this. But who are these Vanaras? So, Vanaras are special species that existed at that time. They're very powerful, they're very intelligent, and still they are animals only. Vanaras are nothing but monkeys. Okay, but with special features and powers. Okay, so this kind of species used to exist many lakhs of years back. Okay, so that is the this Vanaras. So this Kesari is the chief of some group of Vanaras and he is son of Brahaspati. So both of them get married, and when Anjana Devi was on top of mountain and she sees a beautiful scenery and she is enjoying that beauty of the scenery, and suddenly she understands, she experiences that somebody has come and hugged her, and she becomes very angry because she is Pativrata, and then she tells, "Who are you? What what you want to do? Tell me, otherwise I'll curse you." Like that, she frightens that person. Then immediately, Vayudev appears and he requests, "Please don't be angry on me. There is a great, personality is going to take birth. Great service is required from him for the entire creation. So, that's why I have done this activity. But your Pativratya will never be lost. You still remain as pure, that will ensure." Okay. So it tells that one son is going to take birth, for you, and then please take care of him nicely. And as soon as he tells and disappears, immediately the Hanuman appears. Okay. It's not that 9 months of the pregnancy, he appeared. Immediately he appears because he is special personality with all special powers. So then they are in that mountain, one cave, and then he comes out of that cave of that mountain, and he happens to see a beautiful fruit. It is yellowish color and then glowing also. Okay, and he wants to taste that fruit because monkeys, they're after eating fruits very much. Then immediately his small boy just taken birth and he can able to walk also. He comes out and then he sees that fruit and immediately jumps. And he jumps so that goes to the space and he goes to the sun planet. Such powerful he is. By birth he is powerful. Then he is rotating around the sun. He is seeing which part of this fruit is tasty. He is going around and finding out. And sun is seeing this one. The demigod sun is seeing this one. He knows he is is a great personality, and then this requirement of his service, and he is just tolerating whatever he is doing. So that is the time of Grahana. Okay, during Grahana time, Rahu comes and devours sun. You can see sun becomes black, and after some time again, sun appears. So this is the boon given by Rahu, given by Indra to Rahu. Okay, so Rahu comes that time. Then Hanuman sees this Rahu planet, and he understands this is more beautiful than sun. So I'll eat this fruit, and he jumps onto Rahu. Then Rahu becomes fearful. Who is this? What is this creature? He wants to eat me. Immediately he runs off to Indra, and he tells Indra, "See, Indra, you have given a word to me that during Grahana time I can devour sun, but you have crossed your words. You're not standing on your words." Here's what happens. What happened? Then Rahu tells that, see, one more creature has come and he wants to devour sun now. Immediately Indra and Rahu, they go to sun planet. And he sees again this fruit has come, Rahu fruit has come, and then and Rahu immediately becomes fearful and hides behind Indra. And Indra is having a big elephant, Airavata, his Vahana, that is. So he gets surprised by seeing this wonderful animal, and he wants to play with that Airavata. He is coming nearby Airavata, and then Indra becomes angry. What is this creature? What it wants to do? With Airavata, and he takes a Vajrayuda, and then he beats. He hits Hanuman, and Hanuman, this jaw portion gets broken, and he falls from that height again to the same mountain where he came from. And then Vayu comes to know this one. He is a small boy, just taken birth, without knowing the details, how Indra can punish him. A small boy. He becomes very angry and he stops the airflow in the entire creation. And yajnas are stopped. The rishis can't able to perform yajna. And then people became frozen, because inside us there are 5 kinds of air will be there: prana, apana, samana, udana, vyana. Okay, on these 5 airs the soul floats. Okay, and all these airs were stopped. Then people became like frozen. If you keep something in the fridge, it becomes frozen. In Himalayas, the people do trekking. They fall down and they becomes frozen. Like that whole world, all the human beings and animals become frozen totally. It's a unique, picture to see. Okay, so then all the devatas, they understand, and they come down to that mountain, and immediately Brahma takes out water from his kamandalu and throws on his head, and immediately Hanuman becomes again active and he is playing around. Then Vayu is not satisfied. Then all the devatas, they give special boons, varas, to Hanuman. What is that? So Brahma gives his Brahmastra, the most powerful astra, doesn't work on him. Nobody can stop Brahmastra except Hanuman. Okay, yeah, that astra doesn't affect Hanuman. Nothing happens to him. Then Indra, he tells, my powerful astra Vajrayuda doesn't work on him. And Varuna, no disease. He doesn't become tired during war. Even though he falls in water, he never dies. Okay, that boon, Varuna gives. And then Yama, my Yamapasha. Yamapasha means a thread, like a weapon of Yamaraja. And if he uses that weapon, and then he will take your soul, people die for sure. Okay, so that Yamapasha doesn't work on him. Then Vishwakarma, he is expert in making wonderful astras. Vajrayuda was made by him. Sudarshan Chakra was made by him, and many more weapons he made. And he says, whatever weapons I made doesn't work on him. And Kubera, he's a god of riches, okay, and none of his weapons work on him. And Surya, he gives his tejas and becomes his guru. Who is the guru of Hanuman? He is Surya Deva. Okay, then the Surya Deva, like that, becomes guru. Thus, the great devatas gives the great powers to him, by which he becomes invincible, the most powerful warrior of the entire creation. Okay, he becomes such a great warrior. Then he tells immediately, to Hanuman, because Hanuman cannot go to sun planet always. So Hanuman will be standing on two mountains, Ashtadri and Purvadri. One leg on Ashtadri, one more leg on Purvadri. And then sun will be rotating around him and then teaches. He gives all the Veda Jnana. He becomes expert in all Vedas, all the 4 Vedas. So that's how he becomes very powerful. Then he is still a small boy. So what he does? Balastavat Krida Saktaha. All the children are generally fond of playing. Okay, he is also very fond of playing. And he goes to a place where rishis are doing tapasya and yajnas, and it creates so much disturbance to the tapasya and the yajnas. Then they give curse to him. They doesn't become angry. They know he's going to do great service for the Lord. For time being, he doesn't require all these powers. Okay, may this person forget all his powers. He'll remember when the time comes, when somebody comes and reminds about his powers. Okay, like that they give curse, and he forgets everything. He becomes like a normal Vanara. And then he is in the kingdom of Kishkinda. Kishkinda is the kingdom of the Vanaras. So Vali is the king, and then Sugriva is brother. And there was some fight happens between both of them. And then Vali throws Sugriva out of the kingdom. So Vali is actually adharmi. He doesn't follow dharma. He is a servant of his senses. Okay, but Sugriva is not like that. He is dharmic person. He wants all the kingdom to be peaceful and happy and follow the God consciousness, the devotion to Lord. But he was sent out of the kingdom. So because dharma is with him, Hanuman follows him. So they come to one place by name Rishyamukha Parvata, and then there, the Sugriva stays along with his Hanuman. He is a minister of the Sugriva, and some more followers like Jambavan and some more Vanaras will be there. Okay, they stay in Rishyamukha because that is the safe place. Vali cannot come there. There is one curse for him, so he cannot come. So that's the place they are staying. Then one day, Rama and Lakshmana, during their Vanavasa, they happen to come, to this Rishyamukha Parvata. So they come to know somewhere here Sugriva is staying. If you make friendship with him, they can able to find Sita. Okay, they come to they think like that by some message, and they come to this Rishyamukha Parvata, and Sugriva happens to see them from top of the mountain. He becomes very fearful. He thinks that maybe Vali sent them to kill me, because Vali cannot come. He is sending these heroes to come and kill me. He becomes very fearful. Immediately out of fear, he jumps from one mountain to one more mountain. Then Hanuman tells him, please don't be fearful. Without knowing who are they, we cannot be fearful and we cannot take any action on them. And he tells that I will go and find out who are they. So Sugriva tells very carefully, while you have talked to them, You have to glorify them so that they reveal the truth. Who are they? He wants to know the truth. Who are they exactly? Then you should stand in such a way that you face me so that I can able to see you from your facial feelings. What is the exact situation? So people who are at the edge of, who are fearful, they'll be very, very, careful and then, very attentive. That much fear Sugriva is. So then Hanuman tells, okay, I will go in the form of a sannyasi, because people, they believe in sannyasi and then they respect him and they tell the truth. Okay. So these Vanaras are having a special siddhi by name Kamarupa Siddhi. They can take whatever form they want. Okay. So he takes the form of sannyasi and goes to the Rama and Lakshmana. This is a very special, moment in the life of Hanuman. Why? He is a pure devotee, a great devotee of Lord Ramachandra, and he is it's happened to meet that Supreme Lord now. He doesn't know exactly they are the Rama and Lakshmana, Supreme Person of Godhead. I am his devotee. All these things he doesn't know at this point of time. He just goes and meets them. And as soon as he sees Lord Rama, there is transcendental happiness in his heart. And then he came for a purpose, in a disguise, to cheat them and find out the truth. He forgets everything. And then with that great happiness and out of respect, he pays obeisance to him. He is sannyasi. Sannyasi, supposed to be not doing all these things with normal people. Rama and Lakshmana, even though they are Supreme Person of Godhead, they are enacting like a normal human beings. Okay. So he pays obeisance. Rama also is quiet. He also doesn't say anything. Then he asked many questions. He got surprised by seeing them, by seeing their forms. And his questions are very astonishing. I'll read this from Ramayana. In Sanskrit slokas it will be there, but I'll read it in English, the meaning of the slokas. So Hanuman got surprised, and with great astonishment. When people get surprised too much, they'll ask many things. Okay, like that Hanuman situation is now. So both of you look like Rajarshis. Devatas are and Devatas full of effulgence. They are looking Rajarshis and Devatas and full of effulgence. When you are walking, animals, monkeys are running out of fear. By your presence, the whole place becomes so beautiful. But you seem to be disappointed because they lost Sita. You are seeing these trees, mountains again and again. You walk like lion. Your valor is like Vrishabham. That means bull. You are walking like a lion. You have broad chest. Your bows are like Indra's bow. Your arrows are as sharp as snake looks. Powerful arrows they have. Your hands are like elephant trunks. So powerful hands Rama and Lakshmana they are having. Your shoulders are like elephant shoulders. You are like sun and moon, full of effulgence and bright faces. Their bodies are emanating effulgence. Your rupas are divya rupas. So beautiful rupas they have. You have simha parakrama. By seeing them, they are looking like a great warriors. Like a lions. Their parakrama. Their valor is like simhas. Going by walk in dangerous forest. You seems to be kings, but you are just walking with barefoot in dangerous forest. You are very tall. You have well-built shoulders. Why didn't wear ornaments on your shoulders? You have no ornaments because they came out of kingdom. They are wearing just saffron robes without any ornaments. Your effulgence tell that you have ability to roll over the entire universe, but you are walking on foot, nothing is matching. So you are like kings of entire universe, but you are walking with bare foot on this, in this forest, is not matching. You are surprising bows made of gold and titan thread is creating fear. They look like Vajrayuda. They are powerful, bows. They are creating fear by just by seeing them. Your quiver is full of arrows, and your swords are very tall. They are like snake which has just left skin. You are looking very beautiful. I can't be able to understand you. I am asking many things, but why you are not answering anything? Like that, almost 23 questions Hanuman asked out of surprise. Okay, as soon as he saw, he paid obeisances. Okay, and then he's asked many questions. So this you have to understand the mood in which Lord Hanuman is seeing the Lord, the Supreme Lord. So when you go to Lord, when you go for darshan, we should inculcate this kind of mood. We should pay obeisances. As soon as we go before Lord, we should pay obeisances from left to right. That is the etiquette. Some people, they go like kings before Lord. We should be understanding clearly that we are servants of Supreme Lord and we should pay obeisance. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, just by paying obeisance, you can go back to Godhead. Manmana bhavamad bhakto madhyajimam namaskuru. Mam namaskuru. By paying obeisances, he says, you can come back to me. That's the power of paying obeisances. When you enter temple, you have to pay obeisance. When you go before Lord, you can pay obeisance. When you're coming out also, try to pay obeisance. That much respect you have to give. Just by paying obeisances, you will develop great devotion to the Lord. And in Srila Prabhupada's lifetime, there's a beautiful pastime is there. Prabhupada used to give classes initial days, and many people used to come. And one person was there. Okay, when Prabhupada comes, people pay obeisance. When Prabhupada goes off, people pay obeisance. So he observes that for few classes. He doesn't pay obeisance like that. Then he asks, Prabhupada asks at the end of the class, you have any questions? Then this devotee raises a hand and tells, Prabhupada, so many people pay obeisance unto you. I feel this artificial. I don't like all these things. Then Prabhupada, with grave voice, he tells, first you pay obeisance, and you will develop devotion. Then Swamiji told, elderly Swamiji with grave voice, and you start paying obeisance. And gradually, by paying obeisances, you develop respect, devotion, humbleness, surrenderance, and becomes devotee for a period of time. Okay, so that's the power of paying obeisances. And then here Hanuman is seeing Lord with a feeling of devotion. So when you go to Lord also, not that in hurry burry we just see and then go off. We should see Lord with feeling of love and devotion. We should have darshan of the Lord from lotus feet, to the lotus face, one by one. And then we offer prayers with devotion from the heart. You should glorify Lord. Oh Lord, your decoration is so beautiful today. Your ornament, your necklace is very nice. Your pagadi or flowers on your head are so beautiful. Like that you should praise the Lord. Okay. Here you see Hanuman is praising. You are like Simha, Parakrama, and your bows are like fearful, like that. Now is glorifying. And then he speaks the truth. So he went to find out truth, who are they in disguise, but he reveals his truth. So out of devotion and love, he described like this, and then Rama becomes very happy, and then he tells, Hanuman tells, Sugriva is on mountain. Actually, I am not a sannyasi. I am the minister of Sugriva. Sugriva sent me, to find out who are you. Then, like that he tells and reveals, now please tell who are you. Then Rama speaks. So Rama speaks that this Hanuman is not a normal personality. He is, many people think Hanuman is just Vanara, not so intelligent, just only the power of hands, all these things like that. Okay, but it's not so. He is a great scholar also. His guru is Suryadeva, and he learnt all the Vedas. He is having this knowledge of all Dharma Shastras, and also he is having power of all the Shastras, both Shastras and Shastras. He is expert. And here Rama tells that he is expert in all the Vedas. He is expert in Rig Veda. How he is expert in Rig Veda, Rama describes that his pronunciation, grammar, and variation in speech. One who becomes expert in Rig Veda, he becomes expert in this thing: pronunciation, grammar, and variation in speech. This I can observe from his words. So he is expert in Rig Veda. And Yajurveda. Yajurveda contains, various forms of pujas, yajnas, and karmakandiyas. Okay, this contains many slokas. So who are expert in Yajurveda, they have good memory. Okay, so his way of speaking, I can understand. He is expert in Yajurveda. He is remembering many slokas and telling all these things. Then Samaveda. He is expert in Samaveda also, because his way of speaking like a music. It's very pleasing to me. Samaveda Shastra of music. Okay, so way of speaking is like a melodious music. And Rig Veda, he knows how to exactly chant and glorify the Lord. Okay, so he's expert in this also. So he's expert in all the 4 Vedas. And Rama tells, whoever, side he is in, whoever minister he is, that king will definitely be victorious. That's what Hanuman, Lord Rama tells. Okay. So from this pastor we can understand how careful Hanuman is speaking. He is holding his breath, in the heart, in the throat, in the tongue, very carefully. He is not aggressive in speech. He is very controlled. Rama describes all these things actually. Okay, so this is called austerity speech. Bhagavad Gita describes. Okay, so when you go to Vaishnavas, when you deal with, when you talk to people, any people, okay, we should know how respectfully I have to speak, and not aggressively, but controlled way. It should be like pleasing. Our talk should be like pleasing to them. In that way, I have to speak. That we can learn, from Hanuman. That we should practice this austerity speech like that. How to speak and what to speak, how much to speak, and our speech should not unnecessarily aggravate other people's feelings. Even though they are good people, sometimes people talk in such a way that they aggravate emotions, anger, all these things. And many good relationships will broke just by few words, the tone of voice. Okay, so we should speak in a controlled way, especially before the Vaishnavas. So these things we can learn from the life of Hanuman. So then Hanuman takes them to Sugriva, and Sugriva introduces to them. He introduces Lord Rama and Lakshmana to Sugriva, and they become friends. Okay, so then they'll be discussing at one point of time. They'll be discussing at one place. So immediately there's Shalavakshi is there. Sugriva breaks the branch of that and makes a seat for Rama to sit, but doesn't give a seat to Lakshmana. And this he observes. Hanuman observes. Immediately Hanuman breaks branch of sandalwood. Sandalwood is a very good tree. Okay, and makes asana for Lakshmana to sit, and he sits at the feet of Lakshmana. Okay, so we should be very sensitive in dealing with people. And we should give respect in such a way that enemy also becomes friend to us. In that way, we should learn to deal. Especially in Vaishnava community, we should learn to pay respect whenever you see in Vaishnava by telling Hare Krishna or by paying obeisance. If they are equals to you, you can tell Hare Krishna. If they are seniors, you happen to meet, brahmachari devotees, there are senior Vaishnavas. Okay, so you can pay obeisance to them. This is the way of respecting. So that is the one of the etiquettes, important etiquettes of any Vaishnava. These etiquettes are very much important for the devotees. That will make them progress, and they enhance devotion of the devotees. It is said that etiquettes are like ornaments. Just like women, they look beautiful by ornaments, by necklace, by bangles, by various kind of things. Similarly, the devotee looks beautiful when he follows these etiquettes. So etiquettes are like ornaments. So these things, Hanuman is expert, in doing all these things. These things also we can take from Hanuman. Then Sugriva sends to find out whereabouts of Sita. 4 groups of armies goes in 4 directions, and Hanuman goes to the south direction, and then they reaches the ocean shore, and they doesn't know how to cross the ocean. Angada is the leader for their group. In the Jambavan is there, Hanuman is there, many Vanaras are there. And they are thinking how to cross out this ocean. Then Angada sees nobody comes forward, and he himself want to cross. And he tells that I can cross out this ocean, but there is no guarantee I can come back. Then Jamban stops him. No, you are the leader of the our army. You cannot do. I know there is one more person is there who can achieve this task very easily. He just has to be reminded of his powers. Okay, so that ocean is 100 yojanas. 1 yojana means 8 miles, almost 12 kilometers. That much distance, 1200 kilometers that is. Okay, so then Jambavan goes to Hanuman, and he reminds, who are you? What are your powers? For what purpose you have come? And what you have to achieve? He reminds. Okay, then Hanuman remembers his powers. He becomes immediately, he takes his huge form. He shows his power. So, and he describes what is power. Hanuman describes very wonderfully in the Ramayana what is power. Not out of his proud, okay, because Vanara army is disappointed. They think it's difficult to cross our ocean and find out Sita. And without information, if they go back, Sugriva is there to give capital punishment, to cut off their head. So they are all fearful and disappointed. To give them, the boost and inspiration, he tells about his power. He takes huge forms, almost 50 times of his actual form. Okay, so and he tells, I am powerful that I can crush all the mountains to powder on the 3 planet. If I and my fast is cannot be imagined. It's like a fast wind. Sun goes from east to west. So by the time sun travels from east to west, I can travel and come back also. That is the fast. So it is a special thing. He is so powerful and also fast. If both things come together, it is impossible to stop that person. Generally, people may be powerful, some power will be there, we also have some power, but fastness is not so easy. Okay. So Hanuman is combination of both. He is having extreme power and then extreme fast also. Manojavam Marutu Tulya Vegam. It is said that. So, and he can go and come back also. Such is the power of Hanuman. And then when he travels on the ocean, because of speed, the whole ocean water, it rolls like a mat and goes out of the ocean. He can take away all the water out of ocean. Such is the power. He tells at that speed. And then he tells, my power is equal to Garuda. Garuda is the transcendental vehicle of Vishnu. He is so powerful. It has my power is equal to Garuda. So that's why he describes. Nobody can, none of the warriors on this planet, can stop me. I'm immune to all the weapons of Devatas. Okay, so he describes everything. By saying that all the Vandasas, they become full happy. They'll be jumping, Jai Hanuman, Jai Hanuman, Jai Hanuman, like that. Okay. Then he goes to the Mahendra Parvata. From the top of the Parvata, he jumps. Okay. You see, this is the power of devotee. People by, generally they're normal, not so powerful. But if they become devotee, they'll become very powerful. Hanuman is a great devotee of Lord Lord Rama. Okay. So because of that, he was given all these powers. Because for the service of Lord Rama, he was given all the powers. Now time has come for him to execute the service of Lord Rama, and he remembered all his powers, and is so powerful. Similarly, in our life also, if you want to do service for the Lord sincerely and seriously, you will get all the required power and energy, resource, everything to fulfill that. So what is required is our sincerity of purpose, our sadhana, our purity. This is what is required. If you have that, Lord will give everything. Srila Prabhupada, with 40 rupees he went and built a great empire. Many temples across the world, and many devotees, they came, to support Srila Prabhupada because Prabhupada is sincerely, with pure devotion, he want to serve the Lord Krishna, Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. That's why, he got all the power. So now ISKCON is powerful organization across the world. Crores of devotees, hundreds of centers, in many countries, almost 175 plus countries, it became a powerful organization. Okay, that is because of Prabhupada's purpose, purity of purpose. So similarly, if you want to sincerely do any service for the Lord, Lord will give all the resources, all the power to you. This way to understand. You may be zero, you'll not be having any money also. Nothing is required. Your sincerity, your sadhana is required for them to, for service to fulfill. So like that he crosses and he jumps from the mountain and he is going. So when he is going, he happens to see Mainaka Parvata, the ocean of the ocean god. He sends Mainaka Parvata for some rest for Hanuman. So Hanuman doesn't stop there. He just touches and put namaskar and goes up. So in the way of service of the Lord, sometimes we'll get allured by sense gratification. So we should not fall for all those things. We should determine service and we should go forward. Then there is one Rakshasi by name Surasa comes, stops the Hanuman. Hanuman, then he takes one big form. That Surasa also takes big form, and still more big, again it becomes big. Immediately takes a small form, goes inside and comes back. I am not telling detailedly because already time, we don't have that much time to describe everything. Okay, and then comes out very intelligently. He acts and comes out. So that Surasi is having a boon by Lord Brahma that whoever comes on her way, will be devoured. Okay, they have to go into her throat. So he goes to throat, again comes out, and he tells, Hanuman tells, see, Brahma's vara is fulfilled. Please leave me. I am going for a important service of my Lord. After the service, I'll come back if you want. I will offer my life to you. So here you can see the selfless service, dedicatedness, and the determination of Hanuman in doing Lord's service. So in our life, we should take up these important qualities. We should have dedicatedness for Lord's service. And then we should render selfless service to Lord, not expecting something out of it. Today I'll do this service, I want something. This should never be our expectation. Selfless service. Dedicatedly we have to do this kind of service. And then you see the devotion of Lord Hanuman. And he is very intelligent also. Even though very powerful, still intelligent. Okay. So we should act very intelligently in service of Lord. Not that we will go straight forward. Chanakya Pandita says, the trees that go straight are the first to fall down for a wind, for a storm. When storm comes, all these big trees will fall down first. Okay. Some people think straight forwardness is good. Okay. But we should be intelligent. Hanuman is very powerful. He can do, but still he is acting very intelligently. So we should learn, how to act intelligently for the service of Lord. And this Hanuman is very attractive for many people, for children, and the most famous deity. Okay, he is having very special powers. He is having Ashtasiddhis. All the siddhis he is having. What are Ashtasiddhis? Anima, Lagima, Prapti, Prakamya, Ishitva, Vashitva, Kama, Vashitya. So Anima means ability to become smaller than the smallest. Just like before Surasa he became very small. And Mahima, ability to become infinitely large. And Lagima, ability to become lighter than the air, he will float in the air. Prapti, ability to instantly travel anywhere at will. Manovega, Manojavam. And then Prakamya, ability to achieve whatever one desires. And then Ishitva, ability to create or annihilate anything at will. Vashitva, ability to control elements of material nature. Panchabhutas he can able to control. And Kama, Vashaita, ability to assume any form or shape one desires. Any form he takes. So these are wonderful powers of Hanuman. If you see many Hollywood films, they copy these things. You will see some characters in the Hollywood films. They will take whatever form they want. There will be heavy personality, heavier than the heaviest. Hulk, one personality is there. Okay, and then flying in the air. Many people, Superman you see fly in the air. Okay, so actually all those things are copied from our Shastras. They tell, and people are crazy of this Spider-Man, He-Man, Ant-Man, Batman, Spider-Man, Aquaman. Give up all these mans. Okay, be devotee of Lord Hanuman. So he is having all the powers. These people are imaginary powers, and they have only some part of the powers. But Hanuman is reality. He is still living. He is Chiranjeevi. And then he is full in all those powers. Establish these Vedic heroes as your models in your life. By that, you will become purified. You will develop good qualities of Hanuman. Hanuman qualities will derive. The purification happens inside you. Okay, you'll develop devotion by all these things. Please stop all this nonsense of He-Man, Spider-Man, Superman, this thing, that thing, and all those things. Read the Ramayana. You see the Ramayana films, how powerful he is. We have many personalities in our scriptures. Krishna performs wonderful activities, lifting of Govardhan killing of Putana at the age of 3 months. Many wonderful. Narsimha, half man, half lion. Okay, so there are wonderful personalities are there in our Shastras. The Supreme Lord himself performed many activities. Okay, so read. This is important. Please spend time in reading pastimes. It doesn't require any of these so-called imaginary false heroes. Okay, they only deviate. They keep us in some imaginary world which is not real at all. So that's how Hanuman is he crosses ocean. He happens to meet one more demon by name Simhika. He kills Simhika and goes to the Lanka. Okay, and it is said that Hanuman goes to Lanka, and then in the night time, because morning time if he goes, people can identify. Rakshas can identify. That's why he waits till night falls and he goes inside Lanka in a small monkey form, and then he'll be seeing. And then he remembers he forgot to ask how Sita looks like exactly. So then he's seeing various women by going to the Antahpuras of Ravana. Very beautiful women are there, and they're sleeping. And some of their cloths are not actually, body is not covered by cloths properly. It is not supposed to be done like that. Okay, especially women when they are sleeping, we should never ever go and see. Okay, because we are contaminated. If you see like that, you will become more and more contaminated by lusty desires. But Hanuman is not affected by all those things. And then he is seeing various women and no tinge of lusty desires. Why? Because he is fully engrossed in service of Lord Rama. He wants to find out Sita at any cost. Okay, so if you want to come out of lusty desires from the heart, which is then core of heart, if you want to come out of them, then be fully engaged and engrossed in suffering. And then that time Hanuman goes and gives the ring of Lord Rama. She feels very happy. That's how actually Hanuman saves life of Sita. And then he many times, many incidences are there where he saved lives. Hanuman saves the lives of devotees. And of course, when he goes back, Rama is also very much demotivated, depressed, because he can't even find out the address of whereabouts of Sita. Hanuman gives life to Lord Rama. That's mercy of Lord Rama. Okay, so then he goes inside Lanka like that, and then find out Sita. It doesn't stop like that. He fights with these demons, and then they arrest him with Brahmastra. He acts as if he is caught by Brahmastra, and he wants to go to Ravana. He cannot be simply taken to Ravana until unless he'll do some big halla gulla. He kills Akshay Kumara, the son of Ravana, and then kills many demons, powerful demons, and then he spoils the Lanka, okay, to some part of Lanka. Then he was caught and taken before Ravana. He wants to give message, then he gives a message to Ravana. Oh Ravana, please give us to Sita, to Rama, otherwise you are going to face your end. Are you seen what I have done? Like me, many wanderers are there, and Rama is beyond all of us. His supreme power is alone enough to kill everybody, to conquer Lanka. So like that he gives message. Then Ravana doesn't care. Foolish fellow. Foolish people doesn't hear to instructions. The mind cells, sometimes Ravana will be there. We don't hear to good instructions. We just follow our desires, and at our own whims we want to act. This is dangerous. Then he tells to burn the tail of Hanuman. With that he burns almost many parts of Lanka, and he kills almost 1/4 army of Ravana Sena. 1/4 army alone he kills, and he comes back to um, and then gives a message to Lord Rama. And then with with all the Vanar Sena, they go to the war and they fight the big war. And then here Hanuman fight is very interesting. Many times, if you think we think that if Hanuman is not there, maybe this war is not possible. Winning over Ravana is very difficult. It's impossible almost, because at one point of time, when the first time Ravana came to war, he fights. He wants to kill Vibhishana. He throws a one weapon towards him, and Lakshmana breaks that weapon. He becomes very angry, and he throws one more shula onto the Lakshmana. Okay, and Lakshmana becomes false unconscious, and Ravana comes down and he wants to take away Lakshmana onto his Ratha and wants to take him back to the Lanka and then tie him very strongly. Hanuman comes and then with his fist he gives a punch to Ravana, and Ravana falls and then takes the Lakshmana and then he comes back. That's why he saves the life of Lakshmana. And one more point of time, Indrajit releases weapon, Brahmastra. Because of the weapon, almost 67 crore Vanras falls down, including Sugriva, Rama and Lakshmana also. The two personalities, Hanuman is invincible, Brahmastra cannot act on him, and Vibhishana, knowing this before only, he goes very far. Okay, these two personalities, who are out of it. And then the pitch dark, night time, they can't able to see the faces. So with a torchlight, they are going. They happen to go before Jambavan. Jambavan is, can't able to move. Vibhishana goes, my dear Jambavan, how are you? Jambavan immediately asks question, very surprisingly, how is Hanuman? He gets surprised, Vibhishana. Why are you asking Hanuman? You are not asking your king Sugriva, and not even Rama and Lakshmana. Why are you asking Hanuman? And he tells, Jambavan tells, if Hanuman is alive, all the Vandas are alive. And this Hanuman happens to hear his side by only. And he doesn't become proud. He falls at the feet of Jambavan. So there's a humbleness. This is one more thing you have to learn from Hanuman, humbleness. Even though great, powerful personality, he is very humble. Then he tells that you go to Himalayas and bring the Aushadhis. And then if you bring that, all the Vandas come back to life. Then he goes immediately in just a blink of eye, and he's finding out that mountain, that Aushadhis, they goes invisible. They think who this personality has come, what he want to do with us. And he brings whole mountain from there to here, from Himalayas to almost the Lanka he brings. And by that all the Vanas comes back to life. That's how he saves the lives of all the Vanaras. And then one more time again, Lakshmana falls unconscious because of Ravana's arrow. It goes inside the body, chest, and Hanuman again goes and brings the that mountain. That's how he saves almost 2 times Lakshmana life, and then many Vanaras, and then without him it is highly difficult to win over Ravana. So such is the great personality, Hanuman, Lord Hanuman. So when you that's why I personally always pray to Hanuman. You are so powerful. Okay, you're a great brahmachari. Okay, so please give some of your strength so that I can able to perform a devotion service. Okay, and then please give me strength of brahmacharya. And so like that, you pray to Lord Hanuman to give the strength to perform devotion service. So on this occasion, tomorrow we are going to have this Hanuman Jayanti festival. So all of you please go to Hanuman temple, in our temple, and then wherever you are nearby Hanuman temple you go and offer prayers, if possible render service to Lord Hanuman. So we'll end today's class with a prayer to Lord Hanuman. This is a glorification, a special prayer to Lord Hanuman. So I'll read the meaning of this first and then we'll read the sloka. I take refuge in Sri Hanuman. Let me pray and salute to the one who is swift as thought, one who is more powerful than the wind, one who has conquered his senses, he conquered fully his senses, best among the wise, the son of wind god, the commander of the forest creatures, monkeys, to that Rama's messenger, incomparable, Lord Hanuman, let me seek refuge, let me pay obeisances. Okay? So all of you can please hold your hands. 3 times we'll read. Manojavam Marutu Tulyavegam Jitendriyam Buddhi Matam Varistam Vatatmajam Vanara Yutha Mukyam Sri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadye. Second time. Manojavam Marutu Tulyavegam Jitendriyam Buddhi Matam Varistam Vatatmajam Vanara Yutha Mukyam Sri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadye. Third time. Manojavam Marutulyavegam Jitendriyam Buddhi Matam Varistam Vatatmajam Vanara Yutha Mukyam Sri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadye. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bhakta Hanuman ki, Sri Hanuman Jayanti Mahamahotsav ki, Nithai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.